welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you are new, hello. I just had a baby about a week ago, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about him. I wanted to talk about like my whole birth story. I think I'm on like this emotional high because the last week has just been amazing. There was like one day where he only slept, he was like cluster feeding, so I only got like an hour of sleep. So that day was a little bit rough, but that day was also the day that Chris's grandparents came over and they were here all day and they helped so much with Paisley, and I'm so thankful that they came. It was so helpful. Anyway, let's just get right into this video, mainly because Paisley's awake in her room right now, so I only have a couple minutes and I don't want this video to be insanely long. This is my new baby. This is Koa Charles. So basically I picked the name. I actually got it from, if you guys have ever watched like Sarah's Day, she named her son Malachi Koa, and for some reason as soon as I saw the name Koa, I asked Chris if he liked it and he said he loved it, and I had never really heard it before in our area and I thought it was beautiful. And then for his middle name Charles, it's Chris's grandpa's middle name and is also my grandpa's middle name, so we thought it was perfect that it comes from both sides of our family. We are obsessed with him. He is a beautiful little addition. Paisley is adjusting. She's doing better. The first day or two were a little bit rough. She didn't really like him. She only likes him, like really likes him when she opens his eyes. She hates when he cries, but she's getting much, much better. She's getting more used to him being here. She's a bit of an adjustment, but it's honestly like this last week has been amazing. I'm so happy right now, which has been so great. I'm sure in a couple weeks I'll be feeling very sleep deprived and very different, but he's actually sleeping pretty good. He's waking up about every 3-ish hours. Last night we went to bed at like 11 because he was awake. So we were trying to get him to have that wake window as long as possible, and then he ate a little bit, went to bed, woke up at like 1:30, ate, went right back to bed, and then woke up at 4:30. I woke him up this morning at 7 o'clock. So honestly, for being a week old, he'll technically be a week old tonight at 11. That's pretty good. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my birth story because a lot of you guys either follow me on TikTok or on Instagram know that I was going to get induced, but that actually didn't end up happening. So what happened is on Thursday, I called them in the morning and I was like, hey, I'm set to be induced. Like, what time? Do you have a time frame I could come in? And they said basically like, don't count on it today. Like it might not happen. Like, don't count on it today. We have a lot of people here. We're waiting for people to get discharged, kind of thing. I got a call around 11:30 that said, hey, do you want to come in for your induction? And I was like, yes, please get this baby out of me. If you don't know, I was 2 days overdue at this point. I was 40 weeks and 2 days. My due date was on Wednesday and I had him on Friday. So we went in on Friday at 1:30 to get induced. I was GBS positive, so they had to give me antibiotics first. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the antibiotics first. That way, if the induction was shorter than expected, we wouldn't have to worry about that. I got the antibiotics around, I want to say around 2:15. They had to wait for 4 hours. So basically, Chris and I just sat there watching TV for 4 hours, doing nothing. And then when they came in, they decided, our plan was that they're gonna break my water because I was already, from my last appointment, I was 5 centimeters. So we were like, we're just gonna break my water, see how I progress. If I'm not progressing, then I'll get the Pitocin. But when she did do a cervical check, I was 6 centimeters and 90% of phase, which means I was progressing and was now technically in active labor on my own going in. So it was probably a good thing that we went in when we did, because most likely, me and Chris both thought that if I didn't go in for the induction, I would have been going in the middle of the night at some point. So it's probably better because I ended up getting the antibiotics in time. But when she broke my water, it was probably around pretty close to 7 o'clock at this point where they actually broke my water. And then I kind of was just moving around. I did end up getting the epidural as soon as the contractions started to get a little bit more intense. The nurse in the room was like, if you plan on getting the epidural at all, let's just order it in. Like, let's not wait. That way you can always, because you have to get some fluids for like 45 minutes beforehand. So she was like, let's start on the fluids, and in 45 minutes, if you decide that you don't want the epidural, you don't need to get it. Started on fluids. I decided that by the time we had all the fluids, I wanted the epidural. The anesthesiologist came in, we did the epidural. It was great. It was around, I don't actually know what time. I want to say it was pretty close to like 9 o'clock at this point. Like, it was dark out. She leaned me over on my side, and so I was numb. So because they tilted me to like one side, I didn't feel the epidural at all on the right side of my body. Like, I was feeling all of my contractions on my right side. I felt them a little bit on my left side, but I think because they were so intense on my right, it didn't affect me how intense they were on my left. But I don't think it was working at all on that side of my body. I felt everything. Like, it felt nothing like when I got the epidural with Paisley. I didn't feel anything with Paisley. It was amazing. And then with him, I felt everything. It was so painful. And then around 10:30, I want to say, or in 10:30, they were getting really intense, and like, I couldn't talk, I couldn't breathe. Like, they were getting so intense. I was shaking so badly at this point, purely I think from the pain. I did get the shakes with like the epidural with Paisley, but it was different. Like, it was the pain that was making me shake so bad. She was like, okay, we're just gonna check you because these are getting really intense. Let's check to see how you're progressing. That way, like, if we need to up the epidural, we can. She gave me like a little button so I can do it myself. She checked me. I was 9 centimeters, 100% effaced. He was fully down, so he was to 0. Sorry if you can hear Paisley. I'm gonna go get her in a minute. So she immediately started calling like the team to come in, all the doctors to come in. Because it had happened so quickly. While they were getting ready, she asked me, do you have the urge to push? And I asked her, I said, well, does the urge to push feel like the urge to poop? And she was like, yeah. So I was like, then yes, I am 100% feeling the urge to push right now. And she was like, okay, let's check you one more time just to see like if you're to 10, basically. And she checked me and she was like, yep, you're good to go. He's right there ready to come out. They got everything ready and I pushed. It was 3 sets of contractions. It was about 10 minutes, and it was 2 sets of contractions to get his head out. And let me tell you, that was the worst pain I've ever felt. I genuinely don't think that the epidural worked, because I felt everything. It was the worst pain ever. Like, if I didn't push him out so quickly, I don't know if I would have been able to do it. Genuinely, it was so painful. So it was 2 sets of contractions to get his head out, and then it was 1 set to get the rest of his body out. I pushed him out in 10 minutes. He did not have a cone head. Did not have a cone head. He had very, very mild cone head, which means his entire head, yeah, that came out. So that was so painful. But that's pretty much my entire birth story, because they laid him on my chest after. It was wonderful. I fed him in the golden hour. They let us kind of be for the first hour, do like the golden hour, so that way I could feed him. We could kind of just have time as a family before they came and weighed him. He was 8 pounds, 8 ounces at birth, so he was a big boy. Like, Paisley was 6 pounds, 3 ounces. So he was 2 pounds, 5 ounces bigger than Paisley. He was a big boy. It was those extra 2 weeks cooking. He was like 20 inches at birth. They said he was 19 inches or 19 and a half inches, but when I took him to his doctor's appointment a few days later, he was 20 inches, and even the doctor was like, I think they measured that wrong, because like, there's no way he would have grown half an inch in like a few days. She thinks he was a little bit more scrunched. For the most part, he's been in like the 50 to 60% for both height and weight, so he's pretty average size. But for me, he felt huge because Paisley was so little. Honestly, this last week has been more than like amazing, and obviously I'm still getting adjusted to having 2 kids. Obviously, I'll give it a couple weeks to see what our life is really like, feel like what my emotions are feeling. I've just been so happy, and it's just been like pure bliss right now. Anyway, that's my whole birth story. I hope to do like a couple day in the life vlogs. I probably won't do week in the lives for a while, just because that's a lot of effort. Or if I do like a few days where I just vlog here and there, give you guys some updates if we're doing anything fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave a little more insight to us and our family and what's going on right now and like what happened. It's been amazing. Oh, I also forgot to mention that he was born at 10:53 p.m. on August 19th. But anyway, I have to go get my other baby out of bed now, so I will see you guys in my next video. I'm still gonna try to have a video come out every week. It just might look a little different than what it's been. So I'm really excited, and I love you all, and subscribe if you want to follow along with our family. More so me, honestly, and my emotions. I'm not a family vlogger, but if you want to follow along with my journey, postpartum journey, I'm so excited to get back in the gym and do that. But I'll see you guys all next week. Bye.